Good day, fellow Belizeans here and abroad and friends of Belize. My name is Charles Leslie Jr. I was born and raised in Placencia Village. I was an independent chairman of Placencia Village from 2010 to 2013. And last but not least, I am a Belizean concerned as to the direction our nation is headed. On January 24, 2014, Miss Mary Caridi of the Concerned Citizens of Cayo, which held a rally in solidarity with the Teachers Union, BNTU, invited me to make a presentation. Unfortunately, the rally was unsuccessful due to Mother Nature, as well as to the insidious and mischievous nature of people whom hold power and seem capable of going to any lengths to protect their power. I want to inaugurate my video blog with the topic I had promised to Miss Caridi. I have dubbed it 30 cents. If you take a quick glance at the average budgetary allocation for out-district communities, it is approximately $6,000 to the duly elected area representative to be spread among, for example, in my area of Stann Creek West, approximately 20,000 people, which would give a measly 30 cents for assistance per month per person. What can you do with 30 cents? Buy a small pack of soda biscuits? Out districts have very little autonomy and do not have the ability to take advantage of the collection of property taxes, the collection of trade license fees, and the submission of estimates of revenue and expenditure to the Minister of Finance. It is not complex to understand why out districts are barely functional when it comes to self-governance, organic socio-economic growth, and social assistance. It is directly linked to the easy access or lack thereof of financial resources. Out districts fall under the Village Council Act, which gives very limited power. This makes out district communities technically unincorporated and only guarantees returns of the liquor license monies that are collected, which have been proven significantly insufficient. We are in 2014 and most out districts are still using fundraisers as a main source of income instead of being used for residual income. When the National Association of Village Councils, NAVCO, was established, it was a flagship for strengthening local level governance to enhance national development. Our out-district communities are starved of resources and it makes contemporary socio-economic development lethargic. A perfect example of the limitations of the Village Council Act is the inability to legally form a local building authority to collect building fees and trade license fees from the existing and in progress investments that are taking place in many out-district communities. A rough estimate from the development boom until now would have translated to tens of millions of dollars in locally generated revenues that should have gone to out-district communities. Most out-district communities are struggling financially and find it difficult with basic functions such as administrative and even more so with infrastructural, social and other locally sponsored investments. To approach this inhibition designed into our legal system, a practical and doable approach would be to incorporate out-district communities to fall under Township Act. The legal framework already exists under this act that would allow local government in our out-district communities access to the financial resources and autonomy that is needed to fulfill their mandates in a sufficient and efficient manner. I took it upon myself to review the white paper called Towards a Model of Budgetary Allocation and Revenue Sharing in Mexico's Local Governments. The benefits of the revision of these budgetary allocations are obvious. A quick look at the Riviera Maya area in Quintana Roo, Mexico illustrates the significant investment in infrastructure, thus creation of jobs and continued attraction of investment. A big portion of the financial resources to the municipality is generated from the land tax and budgetary allocation and revenue sharing, especially from the tourism developments. This paper was prepared in 1997, over 13 years ago, and what it identified in Mexico parallels what we are currently experiencing in Belize. It says, local resources are scarce because local politicians only have a limited capacity to influence transfers from other levels of government. It goes on to say, the possibility of modifying the amount of financial resources is also always political because the flexibility to improve revenue collection or obtain conditional or unconditional transfers from other levels of government depends on local politics. Whatever the first best technical solution to a public finance allocation problem, it will always be politically constrained. What is needed, you may ask? We need to call for real revision towards a model of budgetary allocation and revenue sharing in Belize's local government sector, which govern Belize's out-district communities, and a first step would be to lobby for township status so as to take advantage of the current Town Council Act. This would give out-district communities more autonomy than the current Village Council Act. This will allow an immediate increase in locally available financial resources from revenue collection efforts such as from property tax, building fees, trade license fees, and potential supplementation with conditional or unconditional transfer coming from the state via national budget. The economic external effects of this would be the creation of lots of jobs via more municipal projects. We need to use the mechanisms that are already in place to tell the government what we want. Real change will happen when out-district communities use the mechanisms of the Village Council Act, the District Association of Village Councils, and the National Association of Village Councils, and start to garner real consensus from the people and use people power. The steps are very simple, really. 1. Lobby the village councils to call special public meetings. 2. At these special public meetings, move a resolution asking the people if they support the efforts of lobbying the state for a revision towards a model of budgetary allocation and revenue sharing in our local governments, and combining our villages to become municipalities. 3. If the majority vote is yes, move to step 4. 4. Forward the official minutes of the special public meeting with a cover letter to your district DAVCO board. 5. It is then the mandate of the DAVCO to take this to the NAVCO board. 6. NAVCO's responsibility is to then take this to the Ministry of Local Government and all other relevant ministries and departments, and lobby our cabinet on our district's behalf. The buck always stops with cabinet. I remind Belizeans that most of the population of Belize live in the out districts. We need to use that people power to our advantage. I want to conclude with a quote from one of my favorite leaders in the world, incumbent president of Bolivia, Evo Morales. He said, "I believe only in the power of the people. That was my experience in my own region, a single province, the importance of local power. And now, with all that has happened in Bolivia, I have seen the importance of the power of a whole people, of a whole nation. For those of us who believe it important to defend humanity, the best contribution we can make is to help create that popular power. This happens when we check our personal interests with those of the group. Sometimes we commit to the social movements in order to win power. We need to be led by the people, not use or manipulate them. People, if we don't rebel, if we are not physically in an active rebellion, then we die spiritually. A society without the means to detect lies and theft soon squanders its liberty, freedom, and resources. Nothing changes until it does. Thank you, and again, it is always a pleasure meeting, talking to, and learning from fellow Belizeans here and abroad and friends of Belize. I'm yours in service, Charles Leslie Jr.